Hello and welcome. Today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be moving an existing light box here to the location here. How we determine that we want to go to get it to be centered on here, we took a measurement, we put the table where it's going to go, took a measurement long ways and a measurement width ways, determine the center, and then I use my laser to get the exact point. There is a way that you can get the exact point on a slanted ceiling. I'll post a video of how to do that later without a laser to get it exactly where you want it. But I just use my laser because it's easy and convenient. So switching wise, there is only one switch that controls this light. It's not operated on a three-way light. So that tells me a lot about how it's run. Unfortunately, there's no attic space here, so it makes things quite a bit more difficult with what we have, but not too extremely difficult. So as you see, there's two boxes here already. This is where the previous light was, right here. Then somebody had moved it over to here. Now we're moving it back over to here to be center of the table. But what they did is they ran a switch leg out from there to over to here. So we have to leave the cover that was covering this on it, unless we want to cut drywall and run a direct switch leg from the light, because we cannot bury splices in the wall. That is a no-no. So based off the information that I have already, the switch is coming from right there, right here. And it was originally ran here. Then when they wanted it here, they took it out of this box and ran it over to here. I've already knocked studs and used a stud finder. We have a stud about here and here. It appears to be 24 on center, which I have a box, a spanner bracket, old work remodel box that I'm going to use. It's up to 50, I believe it's 50 pounds at 24 inches and 75 at under 16. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know it is sufficient to hold the light that we have. And when I pull it out, I'll take a reading on that. Or I'll give you the specifications on that. So what I'm gonna do now is first thing I'm gonna do, match my box here, cut a hole, and then I'm going to take this switch leg out and pull it back, and then mount my box. Once I do that, we're pretty much done, but tying the bracket in is not super difficult, but fairly hard. So all right, give me just a moment, thank you. Also, when we moved the table, we marked each corner where the table goes, so we get it back directly where it needs to be. I marked basically like that with tape. So I marked all four corners so we can put it back exactly where it needs to be. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take these screws off of this box and take it away from the bracket so that we can mount it up and draw a circle around it so we know what we need to cut in.
Oh, do you want me to put it up because you were gonna be
So we're gonna take these completely off, and then these screws here to take it off of the bracket completely. Once we hang it back up, we won't put this back together until we hang it back up. And then we'll take these other screws out. And we'll take this and put this on our center mark there and draw around it so we know how to cut our hole. Center there, draw it up here.
I know how to fully work this thing, just so you know.
All right, so now we've got our hole marked out. We're gonna cut it at the same time we vacuum so we don't get a bunch of dust everywhere. I'm gonna turn the vacuum on real quick as I cut. What's that? No, this is not a drill. This tests if there's voltage there. If
Okay.
it's voltage, it'll turn red, meaning it's safe right now. So these boxes, these brackets are, you set them up in there and you turn this. So you have to open it. You have to have this set against the stud and stay when you open it. Because otherwise, you won't, it'll be all wonky. You need it nice and tight, which can sometimes be a challenge. And you'll have to remember also, depending on which way you're looking at it, it needs to be turned counterclockwise if you're looking at this end, or clockwise if you're looking at this end. Rather than do it all in the air and fight it, we're going to extend it out close to 24 inches before we put it in there, and just do the touch-up work in the attic, because it's kind of difficult to undo it fully without access. Okay, so right now it's 23, and what I'll do is I'll angle this end in first, get it through the rafter, push it back, okay, so we want to make sure both those ears are down, and we push the end that doesn't spin against the beam first. Then we center the bar. So there. And now it's nice and straight. And we're going to center the bar and then turn it. Put a little down pressure onto the drywall as we turn it, opening the bracket up. And as it opens, it presses against both studs, creating basically a wedge inside of it, and it allows you to put up to 50 pounds on one of these brackets. At this length, it's 150 at 16 inches. All right, so we're on there now. The next thing we'll do is we'll put this bracket, one we took off, on there first. And we'll get him kind of eyeballed in there. Then we'll also use this green screw to attach it to the box for grounding. And we will attach the bare wire, this wire, to that to connect it or bond it to the box in case of a loose wire or something along that nature, so it's safe. And tighten it down. When we wrap it clockwise around so that when the screw tightens, it tightens into itself and doesn't loosen. And it's moved. Now we'll hang the light.